Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to cover the current affairs from May 16th to May 22nd. So let's get started. So Manik Saha has been named as the new Chief Minister of Tripura. Rajya Sabha MP and BJP State President Manik Saha has been appointed as the new Chief Minister of the state of Tripura. Manik Saha is the BJP State Unit President and also the lone Rajya Sabha MP from Tripura. And this decision was taken at a legislature party meeting following the resignation of CM Biplab Kumar Dev. So students basically, the Chief Minister, the ex-Chief Minister of Tripura, Biplab Kumar Dev, after his resignation, Manik Saha has been appointed as the new Chief Minister of Tripura. The capital of Tripura, Agartala. Next, students, former Australia cricketer Andrew Symons died in a car accident. So former Australian all-rounder Andrew Symons has been killed in a car crash. He was only 46-year-old students who played 26 tests and 198 one-day internationals from Australia from 1998 to 2009. And he died in a single car accident outside Townsville in Queensland state. Symons was an excellent top-rate fielder. He was also key part of Australia's back-to-back 50-over World Cup triumphs in 2003 and 2007. So he was a very important player of Australia cricket team. And in fact, he also played for Deccan Chargers and Mumbai Indians in the Indian Premier League. However, students, he was embroiled in a controversy wherein he accused Indian spinner Harbhajan Singh of calling him a monkey in Sydney's 2008 New Year test. Next, students, Nidhi Chibber has been named as CBSE New Chief 2022. So senior IAS officer Nidhi Chibber has been appointed as a chairperson of CBSE in top-level bureaucratic reshuffle effected by the center students. So like I shared with you in the other videos, that all the appointments are very important. So you should know this. And CBSE is indeed a very important agency, education agency in the country. So you should know the head of CBSE or anybody for that matter. So students, Nidhi Chibber is the new chief, and she has been appointed as chairperson of the CBSE in the rank and pay of additional secretary to the Government of India, an order issued by the Personnel Ministry. Now, very quickly about CBSE students, CBSE Central Board of Secondary Education, you should know the full form of the acronym CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. And it is a national level board of education in India for public and private schools controlled and managed by Government of India. It was established in 1929 by the resolution of the government, and there are approximately 26,000 plus schools in India and 240 schools in 28 foreign countries affiliated to the CBSE. Moving on, students, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he attended the second global COVID-19 virtual summit. So Prime Minister, he attended the second global COVID-19 virtual summit, which was organized by the WHO and the US. And he's called for a reform of the UN Health Authority and a review of its vaccine approval processes a week after the government challenged the WHO's numbers for mortality during the COVID outbreak. So let me very quickly, give you the background of this. So in the years 2020 and 2021, students, the World Health Organization had predicted that there are going to be 4.7 million fatalities in India, directly or indirectly due to COVID-19. Now, this is over 10 times of what the government has estimated and the figures that the government has released. So if we go by the WHO figures, these figures are like, the largest in the world. The death toll due to COVID is the largest in the world. So it is, in this backdrop that Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for the reform of the UN Health Authority and a review of its vaccine approval process. So basically what Narendra Modi said was that, these bodies, they require a reform on a number of areas. And of course, one of them was the reporting. Next, students, This was the second global COVID summit, and it was virtually addressed by US President Joseph Biden and a number of other leaders, including Africa Union and the European Union, Canada, Germany, South Africa, Japan, and South Korea. Now, according to a press statement from the US government, the second global COVID summit resulted in more than $3 billion in additional financial pledges from participation, multilateral and charitable organization on top of promises made in 2021, 2022. So basically, they've been able to generate a lot of resources and funds through this summit. WHO Director General, students, you should know the name Tedros Ghebreyesus, and US President, of course, Joe Biden. So you should know the name of the WHO Director General, Tedros Ghebreyesus. Next, students, GANYAN Mission 2023. Now, S2000 human-rated rocket booster tested successfully. So we all know, students, GANYAN Mission is India's first, mission, a human flight mission. And at Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. So basically, students, there are two important space centers in India. Most important, we have Satish Dhawan Space Center, and we've got, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center at Thiruvananthapuram. So SDSC, which is Satish Dhawan Space Center, is in Sriharikota, and Vikram Sarabhai Space Center is in Thiruvananthapuram. Now, the Indian Space Research Organization has successfully completed the static test of a human-rated solid rocket booster for the Gaganyaan program. And according to the Bengaluru-based space agency, the HS-200 is the human-rated version of the S-200 rocket booster of the satellite launch vehicle GSLV Mk3, also known as LVM3, students. So, the launch vehicle that we use for such missions, it is GSLV Mk3, students. It's a very powerful launch vehicle. It is also known as LVM3. So if you ever ask that which launch vehicle does India use for, most of its heavyweight space launches, it is GSLV Mk3. Now, students, the successful completion of this test is a crucial milestone for the famous Gaganyaan human space flight program. And the first one is, of course, tested for its full duration performance. So this was really crucial, and India has been able to test it successfully. The HS-200 booster, it was designed and developed by VSSC students, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, in Thiruvananthapuram, while the propellant casting was completed at SDSC in Sriharikota. Now, students, the LVM3 has been selected as the launch vehicle for Gaganyaan mission based on its successful launch history, which includes the Chandrayaan mission. So, students, if you understand this, that LVM3, or like I said, GSLV Mk3, this is one of the most powerful launch vehicles that India has, and India has successfully used it in the Chandrayaan mission also. And it is for this reason that they chose to select this launch vehicle for the Gaganyaan mission program, students. And it has been improved to meet the needs of human rating for the manned space mission. So obviously Gaganyaan is a manned space mission. So some changes and improvements have been brought about to suit this. Now, very quickly, students, two important facts. ISRO Chairman and Secretary of the Department of Space, S. Somnath. So who is the ISRO Chairman? The ISRO Chief, S. Somnath, right? The Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, S. Unikrishnan, students. Two important facts, you should know this. Next, students, National Data and Analytics Platform launched by Niti Aayog. So NDAP was launched by Niti Aayog for free public use. So students basically, they want to, through this platform, they want to make data accessible, interoperable, interactive, and available on a user-friendly platform. And the platform intends to democratize access to public government data. So basically, students, this platform is going to provide access to the public government data, students. It houses basic data sets from a variety of government departments, organizes them, and provides analytics and visualization capabilities So we all know, students, like in this time and age, how important data and information is. And of course, the government has this whole digitalization, mission. So keeping in line with that, the government has launched National Data and Analytics Platform. And to ensure that the data sets hosted on the platform are adapted to the needs of the data users from the government, academia, journalism, civil society, and corporate sector, NDAP uses a case methodology, students. So this data would be provided to and can be used, for that matter, by the government itself, by the academia, journalism, civil society, corporate sector. So basically, students, it's going to help in better policy making, better decision making. And all data sets are standardized to the same scheme, making it simple to combine them and do cross-sectional analysis. Attendees, Mr. Amitabh Kant, CEO, Niti Aayog. So students, you should know this, very important. Who is the CEO of Niti Aayog? Amitabh Kant, right? And then, of course, Dr. Anand Nageshwaran. He's the Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India. Some very important positions, so you should know them. Next, students, Ramgarh Vishtari notified as India's 52nd Tiger Reserve. So Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, students, that's the Minister of the Environment, the head of the Environment Ministry, Bhupendra Yadav. Please keep the name in mind. He has announced that Ramgarh Vishtari Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan would be Rajasthan's fourth and the 52nd Tiger Reserve of India, students. It will help to conserve biodiversity and bring ecotourism and development to the area. The National Tiger Conservation Authority, students, this is the organization or the authority that looks into the tiger conservation and is also responsible for giving approval for notifying various tiger reserves. So they have approved Ramgarh Vishtari Wildlife Sanctuary and adjoining areas as tiger reserves. And like I said, please keep it in mind, it's Rajasthan's fourth and India's 52nd tiger reserve. So basically, students, wild animals like Indian wolf, leopard, hyena, sloth bear, golden jackal, chinkara, nilgai, fox. So these are the fauna or the various animals, wild animals that can be seen in Ramgarh Vishtari. And according to the Status of Tigers in India report released in 2019, there are 2,967 tigers in 20 states across the country. So that number, if you see, is actually going up. So we are making some progress there. So currently, students, the number of tigers in India is 2,967. The other 3 tiger reserves, so we have Ranthambore Tiger Reserve in Savai Madhopur, we have Sariska Tiger Reserve in Alwar, and we have Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve in Kota. And this one is the 4th one. Next, students, Emmanuel Macron names Elizabeth Borne as France's new Prime Minister. So Elizabeth Borne, students, please keep the name in mind. She's been appointed as France's new Prime Minister to become only the 2nd woman to hold the post in the country. And she has served as Labour Minister in Macron's previous government since 2020. And she's the 2nd woman to hold the position after Edith Cresson, who was Prime Minister from 1991 to 1992 under Socialist President Francois Mitterrand. And Borne succeeds Jean Castex, whose resignation was expected after Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron's re-election last month, students. So basically, students, like in France, it's common for presidents to have more than one prime minister during their terms. Next, students, India now is the top beneficiary from overseas remittances, students. So according to the World Bank, India has surpassed Mexico as the top remittance receiving country in 2021, pushing China to the 3rd place, students. So students, what are remittance? Remittance is basically, any amount money that people working abroad, they send back to their home country. That's known as remittance. So India has surpassed Mexico as the top remittance receiving country in 2021, pushing China to the third place. And India received remittances totaling more than $89 billion, an increase of 8% above the $82.73 billion received in 2020. And despite the fact that the world was significantly hit by COVID in 2020, remittances were somewhat higher, than the $82.69 billion in the non-COVID year of 2019. Now, some key points, students. The dropping value of the rupee against the dollar accounts for some of the increase. So even though remittances have increased, but some of that increase, students, can be attributed to the drop in the value of rupee against dollar. And inbound remittances to India will continue to climb this year, aided by one of the lowest transaction costs. So basically, students, because there's a reduction in cost of transferring. So the report says that the Indian, remittances would continue to increase. So the average cost of transferring $200 was $6 globally, but it was the cheapest to send money to South Asia and the most expensive to send money to sub-Saharan Africa. And remittances to low and middle income countries are predicted to rise by 4.2% in 2022, reaching $630 billion. So basically, the remittances are on an increase, not just for India, but other low and middle income countries also. Obviously, because nationals from these countries, they go to other countries to work and of course send a part of their earnings back to their home country. So hence, low and middle income countries usually see higher remittances. So like it says that remittance inflow into South Asia increased by 6.9% in 2021. Next, students, Patanjali food business will be acquired by Ruchi Soya for rupees 690 crores. So Ruchi Soya, students, it is an edible oil company and it has announced that it will buy Patanjali Ayurved's food division for rupees 690 crores. And Ruchi Soya's transition to the fast-moving consumer goods category is likely to be accelerated as a result of this, students. So basically, Patanjali food business, Baba Ramdev run a Patanjali food business, students. It will be acquired by Ruchi Soya for rupees 690 crores. And after regulatory permissions, the name of Ruchi Soya Industries would be changed to Patanjali Food Limited. Honey, spices, juices, and wheat are among the 21 products in the acquired food industries. Next, students, according to a company source, Ruchi Soya will pay Patanjali Ayurved an annual royalty estimated at 1% of the gross turnover of the items under the transfer agreement. It is a debt-free transaction. And the board of Patanjali Ayurved has approved the transfer of food business to Ruchi Soya Industries, and it would get the production units in Haridwar and Nevasa as part of the agreement. Now, students, it also says that employees' assets, contracts, licenses, and permits, distribution network, and consumer associated to Patanjali Ayurved's food retail business will all be transferred. Very quickly about Ruchi Soya. Ruchi Soya is India's largest producer of edible oil. Patanjali Ayurved purchased it in 2019, and according to a survey issued by Deloitte Touch, Ruchi Soya was rated 175 among the top 250 consumer product businesses in the Global Powers of the Consumer Products Industry 2012. Next, students, BSE named ex-RBI Deputy Governor SS Mundra as chairman. So leading stock exchange BSE Limited has announced that it has approved the appointment of SS Mundra, Public Interest Director, as the chairman of the board of directors of the company. And Mundra will replace Justice Vikramjit Sen, who is the current chairman. So students, BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, has a new chairman, SS Mundra, and he has replaced Justice Vikramjit Sen. And he retired as Deputy Governor of the RBI on 30th July 2017. So he's the ex-RBI Deputy Governor. Prior to that, the last position held by him was the chairman and managing director of Bank of Baroda, from where he, superannuated or retired in July 2014. However, the appointment is subject to approval by market regulator SEBI students. Next, students, Adani Group to buy Ambuja Symons ACC for $10.5 billion. So students, Adani Group, which belongs to Gautam Adani, is set to acquire Swiss multinational company Holcim's stake in Indian company Ambuja Cement and its subsidiary ACC for $10.5 billion, students, which is about rupees 81,361 crores. So the value for the Holcim stake and open offer consideration makes this the largest ever acquisition by Adani and India's largest ever merger and acquisition transaction in the infrastructure and materials space, students. So Adani Group is buying a stake in Ambuja Cement, and this is basically Holcim's stake. This is a Swiss multinational company, Holcim. It's selling its stake in Ambuja Cements, which is being bought by the Adani Group. Now, Deutsche Bank, Barcap, and Standard Chartered are the financiers or the financial advisors to this deal, students. Next, students, Eicher Motors has named B GopalRajan as the new CEO of Royal Enfield, students. So Eicher Motors, students, which basically owns the Royal Enfield brand of motorcycle. So that has appointed B GopalRajan as the new CEO. And since 2021 August, GopalRajan had been serving the company as the executive director, prior to which he was associated as the chief operating officer since 2013, students. And he has played a key role in the development of the Himalayan Continental GT650, Interceptor INT 650, and some other important model, students. And he spent over 23 years working across Royal Enfield and Eicher Motors. Students, Royal Enfield, it is an Indian multinational motorcycle manufacturing company headquartered in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And the company is the oldest global motorcycle brand in continuous production and operates manufacturing plants in Chennai, India. So very important, it is headquartered in Chennai, students. Royal Enfield's parent organization is Eicher Motors, and it was founded in 1955. Next, students, Forbes Global 2000 list of public companies worldwide 2022 announced. So Forbes Global 2000 list of public companies worldwide has been announced, and basically they've ranked the largest companies in the world using 4 metrics, students. Their sales, profits, assets, and market value. And here, students, Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries has climbed 2 spots to number 53 on Forbes Global 2000 list of public companies. So this is basically, students, the 4 metrics that are concerned are sales, profit, assets, and market value. And Reliance Industries is at number 53, students, worldwide. So Reliance is the top ranked Indian firm on the list, followed by SBI at 105, HDFC Bank at 153, and ICICI Bank at 204, students. So the other Indian companies. Berkshire Hathaway, students, Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, it took the number 1 spot for the first time since Forbes started publishing the Global 2000 in 2003. And it has dethroned the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, which dropped to number 2 after 9 consecutive years at being on the top of the list. And Saudi Arabian oil company took the 3rd spot, students. So world's number 1 company is Berkshire Hathaway. And other top 10 Indian firms on the list include State-owned Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, ONGC at 228, HDFC at 268, Indian Oil Corporation, Tata Consultancy, Tata Steels, and Axis Banks. So they are some of the most valuable Indian companies. Next, students, Nikhat Zareen wins gold at Women's World Boxing Championship. So Nikhat Zareen gave a dazzling performance to beat Thai Olympian Jutamas Chitpong 5-0 and become the fifth Indian women to win a world title at the Women's World Championship Istanbul. And Nikhat becomes the only fifth Indian women boxer after Mary Kom, Sarita Devi, Jenny RL, Lekha Casey to win a gold at the World Championship. Students, so Nikhat Zareen has their one gold at Women's World Boxing Championship, and she's the fifth Indian to achieve this. And before her, Mary Kom, Sarita Devi, Jenny RL, Lekha Casey have also won gold at the World Championship. And she is 25-year-old students and is also a former junior youth world champion. So that's all for this video, students. I'll see you next week with another video on current affairs. Thank you so much.